welcome back to the BettorOff Propcast for the Week 9 Thursday night matchup between the New York Jets and the Indianapolis Colts. I'm Dan Sklowski, and with me, as always, our esteemed guest and colleague, Mr. PropHolliday. So, we got a 2-5 Jets team going up against a 3-5 Colts team. The Jets these are two teams that I really don't know how to put them yet. So the Jets have 2 wins, but their wins are against the Titans and the Bengals. And then the Colts are a team who they've had some injuries, they've had some problems. Week by week, they're a different team. They haven't really been consistent at all. Wentz is starting to play well. And Pittman's starting to pick up whatever, but I'm excited for this matchup. Right now, we currently got the Jets plus 10.5, and they're plus 410 on the money line. In Indianapolis, obviously minus 550. But I'm interested to hear, Prop. What are your just takes on this game, just going into it as a whole?
Well, I mean, I get excited for every Thursday night football game, any football game, but I'm actually getting excited for this game. One, Jets fans finally have hope again. The last time they had it was right before week 1. It went away pretty quickly, but Mike White comes in last week, puts up a hell of a performance, beats a playoff team, and the offense looks good, looks competent. So whatever they did from a play calling standpoint, it's made Mike White look comfortable and look like an NFL quarterback. On the other side of the ball, we already talked about the Colts. Been a little bit of Jekyll and Hyde. I actually see them. I think they're the best under 500 team in the NFL. They were competitive against the Ravens, Rams, and Tennessee twice, and then they beat the lesser opponents. They beat the Texans, the Dolphins, and the Niners, actually. So they sit at 3-5, but I think they're actually playing a lot better than that. Jonathan Taylor's been picking up steam the last couple of weeks. We thought Marlon Mack was going to get traded. They essentially made him inactive last week. I think he was active, but he didn't get any touches. A lot of rumors about him getting traded to either Tennessee or to Baltimore. None of that happened. So we'll see how that plays out into this game. But it should be good, man. It should be a relatively good game. Hopefully the Jets wear the All Blacks. I think they're a very underrated uniform scheme for this Jets team.
Yeah, maybe it's Thursday night, so maybe the All Blacks for the Jets, the All Whites for the Colts. With the, do they have a blue helmet? They should have a blue helmet if they don't already. But that would have been nice. The All Whites with the blue helmet would be too much, too nice. All right, so the over under currently set at 45.5. Didn't touch on that yet. So a moderate scoring game they're predicting. So we're going to start off going into our single plays. We're going to start out with PropHolliday, what he likes as his straight play.
I'm going back to the well on this. I played this last week. I got it at plus odds last week. It is now finally market corrected itself. But it's Carson Wentz over 1.5 passing touchdowns at minus 130. He's hit this in 6 of 8 games. He's hit this in the last 5 straight. And I also think that this Jets defense, this rush defense, one of the better front sevens in the NFL, now that they got back C.J. Mosley and Gerard Davis manning the middle of that field. Obviously, Jonathan Franklin Myers and Quinnen Williams up front makes it difficult. So I think you're going to see a lot more passing. Jonathan Taylor may not have the game that we've been seeing him have the last couple weeks. And then on top of it, the Jets secondary is definitely the weakness of that team. So they've given up this number to opposing QBs, 2 TDs or more, in 3 straight. Pittman and Pascal, I think they have actually very favorable matchups. It's going to be a lot harder for Jonathan Taylor, I think, to get going. This Jets team jacked up, coming off a win, playing in prime time, which they don't get often. So over 1.5 passing touchdowns at minus 130. I expect him to keep this streak going after having 5 straight.
All right, and then so for my single play on the back of that, I'm going to go with a Michael Pittman touchdown to complement PropHolliday's over 1.5. And so these 2 plays, Pittman TDs plus 117. He's got like the second best odds in the Colts, I believe, right behind Taylor, who's minus 150. Both of these plays are going to be, just as a reminder, on our Propcast parlay, which is going to be up shortly right after this comes out. So we're going to have Prop's pick of Wentz over 1.5 touchdowns, my pick of a Michael Pittman TD, and then the third leg of the parlay is up to you guys on Twitter to comment and pick the third leg of the CD. And you follow the instructions and the parlay hits, you have a chance to win all the money. So I do like this game. I think there is potential I think there are good picks on the sides of the Jets as well. I don't think it's going to be an entirely a Colts heavy game. So just a reminder to put that out there. Be on the lookout for the Propcast parlay. Win yourself some money while you're watching football anyway. It's a no-brainer. So we're going to go in our same game parlays now. We're going to save the best for last. I'm going to go first. So I've taken a step back a little bit, and we're going to rein in. We're going to rein back the odds of our same game parlays. At my peak, it was like 10 to win $6,000, and I think we've reined it back now where this is going to be a parlay 10 to win $260. So here we go. It's going to be a 5-leg parlay. Good little mix of both. So to start off, we got 2 touchdown scorers, Taylor and Pittman. I think the Colts are probably going to – I have the Colts somewhere maybe around 4 touchdowns in this game, and they're their 2 biggest weapons when it comes to that. So I do like each of them to score. Taylor's minus 150, as I mentioned before. He's got the best odds. Pittman plus 19, plus 1. Actually, it moved from 119 to 117. I got it at plus 119. Third leg is Jets plus 13.5 on the alternate spread. I mean, as a football fan, as a man who wants to watch this game, I'm rooting for some Mike White magic to continue. I don't think there is a fan out there that is not a Colts fan that doesn't want Mike White to go put up 400 yards and make this an interesting game. And just you hate to root against the Jets. I mean, it has been years of misery, and they, like you mentioned, you started right off at the beginning of this. They have hope. They have hope again in the season. If they can pick up a win here at prime time on the road, they're 3-5. I mean, they get the ball rolling. So I like the Jets plus 13.5 here as a primetime game. Mike White's got some juice going. It's minus 145 on the alternate spread. The spread right now, as we mentioned, is plus 10.5, but I like the extra 3 points. I could see this being I could see this being like a 31-20 game, 31-23 game, something like in there. So I like the Jets plus 13.5 at minus 149. Then we have Mo Alley Cox over 24.5 receiving yards. That's minus 120. He has been a little bit more. He started off the season not too much in the conversation, and he's worked his way back in little by little. I think that 24.5, kind of like as I had my Tunyon prediction last week, is going to come from 2 or 3 medium-sized catches, maybe 1 catch. I mean, we saw Tunyon last week had that. Right before he went down, he had like that 30-yard catch and run, which basically hit his over right there. So I do like him to get targeted on the goal line as well, maybe or in the red zone to pick up 5-10-yard chunks. But I like him over 24.5. That's at minus 120. And then I got to roll with the magic. Mike White over 261.5 pass yards. I'm just taking the over on it, minus 115. I think they will be playing from behind, and I think that, I mean, after last week, like you said, prime time, juice is flowing. They're going to have this guy. They're going to go back to what worked for them last week, and that was him throwing for 400 yards. So, especially if they're playing from behind, I like him just late third quarter, early fourth quarter, just airing it out. So that's over 261.5 at minus 115. So that is a Taylor touchdown, a Pittman touchdown, Jets alternate plus 13.5. Mo Alley Cox over on his receiving yards, and Mike White over on his passing yards. $10 to win 260 plus 2,500 on the parlay. Wow, it's really weird to say such low odds on the same game.
I feel we need one guy with 2 touchdowns, or we need somebody's name we never heard of. This just doesn't feel right.
We need the Mercedes Lewis to put into this part. We need the Mercedes Lewis of the Jets to put in.
Dude, I texted you. He was 6 inches away from making that happen.
I jumped off of my couch. I was like, "Oh my god, that's Mercedes Lewis!" And then they ran it, and then they showed the replay, and I was like, because you texted me right away. You said he's not going to get that again. Like, that was exactly on the Propcast. You said like he's going to get one of those. Just a play they've been drawing up. He's going to get like one good target.
He'll get free in the red zone and break off, and he missed it by 6. I mean, it felt good. It felt justified. As good as you can feel without hitting a bet is probably as good as I felt watching that happen.
I mean, yeah, you didn't hit, but you were dead. You were dead. You were dead. You were right in the end, even if the bet didn't hit. So, yeah, but you're right. Maybe I should reevaluate this and throw just Carson Wentz 2 rushing touchdowns or something on there. But anyway, that's mine. Prop Holiday. What is your same game parlay looking like?
So I followed suit with you, man. I'm bringing the odds down a little bit, but it's still a decent payday. It's $10 to win 447, and it's only 4 legs. I'm going to start with the 2 touchdown guys, Zack Pascal and Jamison Crowder. So Pascal's a guy who scored 3 touchdowns the first 2 games, and then we haven't really heard from him much, despite him getting a lot of targets. He's seeing about 16% of Wentz's targets. That number jumps to 29% when they get in the red zone. I do think that I mentioned it before, the Jets secondary, it is the weakness of that defense, and I really like Pascal and Pittman's matchup. So I like Zack Pascal. I think I got it at plus 215 for him to score a touchdown. I saw it as low as plus 190. The other one is Jamison Crowder. He's only been back on the roster, I think, 3 or 4 weeks because they had a bye week. We'll call it 4 weeks. He's played 3 games. He's already third on the team in targets. He was Mike White's favorite target, I think, last week. Corey Davis is banged up again. Crowder is targeted the most from a wide receiver standpoint in the red zone. So Pascal and Crowder, both of these defenses are very well equipped to stop the run. So I got 2 passing touchdowns there. Jonathan Taylor, under 83.5 rushing yards. This one comes kind of as a surprise because I've been riding high on Jonathan Taylor the last couple weeks. I do think this is a midway point in the season for the Colts. They should be able to win this game convincingly, and they just saw what happened to Derrick Henry. So Jonathan Taylor, you don't want to ride too hard. They did end up trading Marlon Mack. I do think Marlon Mack comes in for maybe 5 or 6 carries this week on a short week, and really eats into that Jonathan Taylor. His carry total, I had it at 15.5 last week. I had the over. He hit it by 1. So he's not getting these 20, 25 carry games. He's really flirting with the teens. Again, this Jets front 7, I really like. So Taylor under 83.5 rushing. And then the last leg kind of ties into that. It's under 23.5 points in the first half. I think both teams will look to establish the run early with Taylor, with Michael Carter, and they're going to find out it's not working because that's how good these front 7s are. The Indianapolis Colts just stopped Derrick Henry dead in his tracks. I think he had 28 carries, 68 yards, something like that. Michael Carter shouldn't be an issue if they could do that to Derrick Henry. So I think it's going to be very low scoring early on. The running game is going to try to get going, but they're not going to be able to. So under 23.5 in the first half. 4 legs, 2 touchdowns, 10 to win 447. And that's what I'm rolling with this week. It's conservative, but I still, if I hit 447, I'll probably be going nuts.
Yeah, what are we? I'm just taking a look at some of the Mercedes Lewis-esque people. Jack Doyle, Carson Wentz, Marlon Mack plus 750 to score a touchdown. If you're someone who thinks that they're going to sit Taylor a little bit on a short week and get Matt some extra touches.
Doyle just got his first touchdown of the season, I think, last week. Wonder if that's something they're going to move forward, getting him in the offense. Marlon Mack is interesting. Also, Mike White. I feel like we've really gotten away the last couple of weeks from the quarterback rushing touchdown on Thursday night. Maybe it's time that makes a comeback. Wentz is at plus 350. Mike White, I think I see at plus 600 on FanDuel. So let's see. I mean, I love these guys who shouldn't be there. They're not the starter. Their career is going to be a backup, and they lay it all out. They're willing to jump over the pylon. They're willing to, not slide for the first down because they realize this is how I make a team next year or I get a contract. So Mike White at plus 600 is fairly interesting.
Yeah, I'm taking a look at Caesars right now. We got Wentz at plus 625, White at plus 1,000.
Is that first touchdown or anytime?
Player to score a touchdown.
Wow.
Wentz plus 625, White plus 1,000, Mack plus 750, Jack Doyle plus 700. So
huge disparity between FanDuel and DraftKings on that.
Maybe we parlay all 4 of them, and we don't have to ever work ever again.
Everyone knows Mike White and Carson Wentz are going to score. I just want to see what it pays.
Yeah, I'm looking at Mike White and Carson Wentz plus 6,500 to parlay both of them. So that's 10 to win 660, just those two. You want to throw on Mack and Doyle just for funsies. Man, it can't even calculate it. It's like breaking.
Yeah.
But yeah, so something to keep in mind for those who find that interesting. And if I am sitting around and I'm like, I'm not a 10 to win 260 kind of guy. I'm a 10 to win 2,000 kind of guy. Those would probably be the four that I'd look at. And I swear they're all going to hit if I don't bet them. And I'll be in PropHoliday's phone just blowing it up. But that's all we got. Like we said, I was saying before we got on this, of the less desirable, because last week was the first week we said this is like a marquee matchup that was been scheduled from the get-go, which was like going to be like prime time Thursday Night Football.
Mm-hmm.
Then going into it, we were concerned that Rodgers was going to be hurt. Or that they had Adams out, Lazard out, all that stuff. It wasn't going to be that way. It ended up being exactly as it was scripted, coming down to the very last Cardinals possession, throwing a pick in the end zone for the Packers to win. So we finally got a good game, and now I felt like we're back at our, not the best matchups on Thursday night, but of the matchups that have been on Thursday night that on paper are not the most exciting. A 2 of 5, a 3 and 4, a 0 and 2, and a 1 and 1. Like, I am excited about this game because I am excited to see if the Jets can win 2 games in a row. And like I said, going into it, I am excited. I'm not excited. I'm interested to see if the Colts can just keep some momentum going because they have just been up and down every single week. So I think it could be interesting. I wouldn't be shocked if the Jets could pull it off, but I'm excited for the game either way.
While talking about this, I was going to say, while talking about this, I've already you've talked me out of Colts as my survivor pick this week. I pivoted over to the Dallas Cowboys over Denver because I do think. I do still think that the Colts are going to win, but it's not worth finding out if Mike White's real. I'm not going to risk my last survivor entry on to find out that Mike White, because last year it was Jets versus Rams, knocked me out of my survivor. So I'm not letting the Jets do it 2 years in a row.
I think that's all we got for you. That's going to do it for us. I'm Dan Slavsky for PropHolliday, Week 9, Thursday Night Football. Get excited, Jets, Colts. We'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.